This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
It is our random question 206-421-ROCK. You hit one on the head by asking people what they remember from 5.
I just didn't think anybody would be able to remember all that much.
Apparently, you and I have done too many drugs. People are chiming in with everything, right? So we had the dude who got hit in the head with a golf putter, topless beaches. Someone else says, I remember having a girlfriend in kindergarten. That was the last one I had. I'll be 39 in a couple of months. Jesus.
Oh, wow.
I like this one. Now, this is something that you can remember. It says, when I was 5, I got locked in the campground shower all alone. Park rangers had to come take the door off the hinges to get me out.
Okay.
Let's see. When I was 5, I also watched Mount St. Helens blow. Never finished kindergarten because of it. Someone else says, I was 5 and in 1974, just like Miles and Thrill. Well, mostly me. Of course, my favorite show was Happy Days. It also helps that I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Believe it or not, Happy Days is why I ever heard of Milwaukee. When I was 5, my birthday party got shut down early. We had to go to the hospital because that was the day my baby brother chose to come into the world. Still pisses me off to share my birthday with him. That from Stephanie. I like this one. At 5, I stuck a knife in a light socket, I think. And then finally this one, Ted, it says, my 5-year-old party with the Ted Smith on Saturday.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Well, will they remember it?
Well, they probably remember more playing football with Mike.
Yeah.
Random,
That game was chaos. There's children wanting to take celebrity shots. Celebrity, like they could shoot a bag in cornhole.
Right.
There was a dog that was only one that would chase down the bags as soon as you threw them.
I had a similar experience Saturday. There were, I'll just say, an ass load of children at my home. And me and one guy snuck off. No one's in the yard, and we're playing cornhole. One of our little friends came out and decided to keep score, so she said she was. Turns out, much like your T-bone, we tied every time.
Tie.
Yeah, we both have 4 bags sitting on the board. It's like, neither of you scored. It's like, go. Hello, Corey. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
Corey, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, let's see here. Okay, Corey, what would you say is the most embarrassing thing that you or someone you know owns? What is the most embarrassing thing that you or someone you know owns? I mean,
it could just be adult diapers. I mean, hell.
Let's see. Well, besides all the broken down boats and cars in my yard, that's pretty embarrassing when people drive by. I have a pretty cluttered yard.
How many boats and cars are we talking?
Well, I've gone through, I think, 4 or 5 boats, and I got 4 or 5 cars in my yard right now.
Well, when you say you've gone through them, does this mean that there is hope for repairs to be done, or are you just moving on to the next one and letting the other one sit?
Well, it depends on the cost of the outboard motor or if the boat is damaged itself. If the boat's damaged, I'll get a new boat and put the old motor on it. If the motor's damaged, then I'll find a new boat and put that motor on it.
Okay. So the damaged boats are still in your yard, and they're never going to be fixed, right?
Probably not. I've offered them to give them away to whoever wanted to drag them out, but still sitting there.
Okay. What name the cars you have in your yard.
Well, one was a black Audi. It was broke down. I don't know what was wrong with it. One was a Saturn. I think it was something with the fuel problem. One was a Volkswagen Volvo wagon, and it was broke. It was totally wrecked, but we were going to restore it and make a a demolition derby car out of it.
All right.
Yes, and then as far as the boats go, they just I have different boats for different things I do. Sometimes I go out crabbing. I'll take one boat out. When I want to go out fishing or just commercial fishing, then I'll take another boat out. That depends on what the need is for.
Okay, so how many working boats do you have?
Right now, currently just one.
Okay. And how many running cars do you have?
One.
And you said you have 5?
93 Lexus.
Oh, that'll be in the yard soon.
93. All right. But so what are your plans for all the other cars that are out in your front yard?
Yank apart. They can come get them.
Who's they?
The company I was talking about, the Yank Apart company, close to where I live, they take wrecked cars or junk cars and stuff out of people's yards. They'll pay you like $100 or something for them.
Okay, all right. So is that a plan of yours to get rid of all that stuff?
You gotta get off my ass and do it.
Okay, all right.
As I say, yeah, set it up.
Mm-hmm. Someone else here says cars for kids will take the boats.
Your thing about I don't remember crap when I was 5 years old. Shoot.
Yeah, that does not surprise me. Mm-hmm. It truly does not, man.
Okay.
I mean, I remember bits and pieces, but he did not strike me as the kind of guy that's going to remember things from 5 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that I had a triple play in T-ball.
In T-ball?
Yes. Unassisted triple play.
That is impressive.
How did that play out? In the world of T-ball, how did this work?
Were you playing third?
Correct, Miles.
Okay.
Third base. Line drive. I catch it.
1 out.
Right. Kid from third takes off. I step on the base. 2 outs.
Okay.
Kid at second was a kid. It just kept running towards third, so I tagged them out. 3 outs.
Nice.
Oh, look at that.
Right.
Now, I don't know how they scored it, but here's the issue. I tell everybody I have an unassisted triple play when I was playing T-ball. And if it's at a family event or something, my older brother will always come over the top and go, "You also ran to third base the first time you hit the ball." My Chris, I don't know why you got to tell everybody that.
Right.
I just wanted to get the triples all the time.
At least your older brother was there to watch you play.
Yeah, I chose to have the good memory from T-ball, not the dumb one.
It is amazing that any good thing you did in any sport, you'll remember.
Yeah.
Even if you can't replicate it, right? Mm-hmm. I did the sky hook shot when I was 8 years old in basketball. You will always remember. You remember the entire scenario.
I remember.
Can you play ball? Nope.
I do remember when I was, of all the sports that I played, football and soccer were the two where it didn't matter what the weather was, you're playing.
Right.
Correct.
And I played for a team called the KISW. Because we had MLS team names.
That was not MLS. That was
whatever it was. That was a New York team with Pele on.
Yeah,
right.
right.
So we were that. That was our name.
Sure.
And I scored like 3 goals in one game. And then the next game I was all fired up. But my mom wouldn't let me play because she said it was raining too hard.
Oh, come on.
And I'm like, Mom, you play soccer in the rain.
Right. It's an outdoor sport.
I sat in that pink van and watched my team play. And my mom wouldn't let me go out.
Did they lose? Did they need you?
Oh, I don't think so. I think they won. But at the same point in time, I still wanted to go out and play. You know,
of
like,
course.
Come on, everybody else is out there. Like, both teams are fielded. You know what I mean? Like, I am sitting in this van. Like, I just want the rain to die down a little bit. Like, what do you think's going to happen? This is back in the day where you're like, don't go outside with a wet head.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Everything's going to kill you.
All that crap that your parents told you, but none of it was true. But
especially when everyone else is playing.
Yeah. I mean, I could have been at home and gone out and played in the rain for hours, and she wouldn't even know I'm gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if she got to take me to a game, then she just wanted to leave.
You know what it is? She didn't want to be out in the rain.
It's hard to think about T-ball or something, too, without my memory just flooding back to going to Pizza Hut at the end of the year.
Dude, absolutely, man.
Pizza.
Mm-hmm. Reason we asked what's the most embarrassing thing you or someone else you know owns. Police and firefighters raced to a scene but found it was a false alarm. And an amusing one at that. We go to France where police were called by a couple on a bike ride. Cycling next to the canal, they thought they saw a corpse taped up in a black bin bag floating next to a heap of branches and reeds. So the couple called police on Tuesday, and they hauled the body back to the banks with the help of firefighters. To all of their amazement and relief, it turned out to be an inflatable sex doll. Yeah. Now, the police have invited the doll's owner to visit the police station to collect, quote, her. They wrote, a couple on mountain bikes discovered a floating mass in the canal that could resemble a human corpse. Though 2 taped garbage bags, we distinguished 2 legs and a trunk. With the help of firefighters, the floating object was brought back to the banks. The silicon doll, truer than nature, did not lack hair, they said. Obviously, her owner can pick her up at the police station at any time.
I like how they offer that. Like, hey, look, man, they're not under arrest or anything. Just If you're looking for your sex doll, we got it. That's it.
Got you I have a feeling that somebody found this and chucked it into the canal.
Yeah, I can't imagine. What is this? If you drop money on a sex doll that you would let it go. All right. Guess who it is, Ted? James, welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
James, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, here. What do we got for you? Okay. Let's go with this one. What is your most useless talent, would you say? What is your most useless talent? I always said sports. Because it really doesn't do anything the older you get. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do with this now? You're good at it, but who cares? So
I would say I could juggle 4 or 5 balls. I say that's pretty useless.
You can juggle 4 or 5. Now, that's impressive. I mean,
you can get to 5 because I understand the difference between juggling an even number and an odd number. Now, I can juggle my ass off with 3, and it is my absolute most useless talent. I mean, other than bringing me joy, it does nothing. But 5, I cannot do, man.
The trick is you got to use both hands to juggle 2 and then throw the 1 in there, and it works out. But yeah, it's useless. It doesn't do me any good.
But how often does it come out of like for party tricks or something? Because I wowed the kids this weekend with my juggling.
Honestly, it's probably been over a year since I've done it, and yeah, it's more of a party thing.
Okay, that's the only time it comes out. That's the only reason it matters.
But juggling's always impressive.
My kids will sometimes tell me to bring it out, but it's been a while for that.
Yeah, like my kids will ask me to juggle because they find it. But again, I'm like, you're not paying me for this. This is not helping me in life. Yeah, you're happy, but again, you like Paw Patrol, so I don't really judge your value on entertainment.
I'm just saying, I think it's exciting for people that can't juggle. I'm always impressed. Like, oh, that guy can juggle.
Yeah, but 5 balls is a lot.
Now, that's ridiculous.
That's amazing.
Let me ask you this. Can you do batons? I tried to do batons. I cannot do the batons.
No, but I can do 3 chef's knives.
Oh,
get out of here!
I don't know if I can or not because I'm not so confident that I want to try.
What was your encouragement other than boredom to practice this and do it?
The chef knife?
No, just anything. As far as juggling.
Juggling. When I was a kid, my parents bought me a book and Dig Up Balls taught me how to juggle.
I remember that. Yeah.
And yeah, boredom totally. When I was a kid.
I literally had a guy. We went. We had family friends, and this is a grown ass man. Like his kids were my friends. We went over for dinner. He was in the garage, and he had just learned to juggle. So when we got there, before I got in his house, he goes, "Do you want to learn how to juggle?" And I'm like 6 or 7. I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah!" And that was the night I learned to juggle, and it has done nothing for me since.
I'll tell you the best one. I'll tell you the best one I got, which I forget about, but every once in a while, like I've been going to the gym and I've been jumping rope, right?
All right.
So I was growing up. My stepfather, he was in the world of boxing. He promoted some fights and did some other stuff and was big in training and all that crap. So in our basement, we had a body bag, we had a speed bag. We had gloves, big, 16-ounce gloves that you could spar with, headsets and all that stuff. So we would go down there and put the headsets on as kids, trying to beat the living hell out of each other. But the speed bag I could work pretty well because you just get bored and then you learn how to do it, and it's all about rhythm. I mean, you would never punch with the side of your hand.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I could do that, but I could...
Do you think Rocky is what made that? Because once I saw the movie Rocky, and he got the I'm like... That's so cool.
So whenever I see a speed bag, I'm like, oh, speed bag. And it's always partially deflated, which pisses me off. But anyway, speed bag with jumping rope. So jumping rope I could always do, like all kinds of crazy stuff. I could do crossovers. I could do, I could do double Dutch if somebody was actually, we would do that in school.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I can jump right in and do that.
Double Dutch to me, man, you want to get whipped in the face.
It's going to take me a little bit to get the timing on getting in. But once I get in, I'm fine on the rhythm. I know the rhythm. As long as the rhythm is consistent, I can do it. But man, I can jump rope. I did 150 the other day without missing. And I was like, all right, still got this.
See, I still got this. It's like juggling. Although
except for the fact that my boobs are bouncing, my back fat's flapping in the back.
But at least you're doing...
My calves are getting tired.
Yeah. At least you're doing exercise. Juggling serves no purpose, all right? But I'm always impressed when people jump rope well. And I remember my brother, his little dorky 5'9" ass. He comes back from college, right? Still 5'9" dorky as hell. And he's like, hey, man. Do you want to watch me jump rope? Like, no. That seems like a dumb question, right? But I did not realize you could do all that crossover crap you're talking about. And I was like, that is badass, man. It is very cool.
And they were leather. The old jump ropes were leather. So, they hurt when you missed. And then we got these whole plastic beaded ones. And they hurt even worse. And then you realize that these things are weapons if you ever get in trouble because they're in your house. And if you're going to get beaten, you might take a jump rope to the back of your legs.
My 7th grade gym teacher
which hurts like hell, by the way.
They whipped us at... Basically, it was this. First day of gym class, 7th grade, and Mr. Gallup was the teacher. And all the kids, what we had to do, push-ups, pull-ups, and something else.
So like
I don't
basically the
remember.
presidential physical fitness test.
Kinda.
Essentially.
He just wanted to see how many you could do, and he wrote down however many you did of each next to your name. Never gave it another thought. The last day of gym class. Now, keep in mind, certain kids came out and they showed off. They want to impress the gym teacher. I was somewhere in between, right? I wanted to show off, but I couldn't. So now it's the last day of gym class. The teacher calls us out there again to do pull-ups, push-ups, or whatever the other thing was. And he said, look, a lot of you guys showed off. If you can't beat the number from the first day of class, you got whipped in the back of your thighs with those beaded jump ropes. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't joking. I remember the first kid that went down, Jamie Becker, man. He took it to the back of the thigh. It broke skin. And he just sat, but you were done for the day after that. He just sat in the corner of the gym and tried not to cry. So I'd say about, seriously, man, I mean, because it hurts.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Once we understood what the circumstance, because Mr. Gobb was not messing around. I mean, he just went, turn you around and whoosh. So once we learned what was going on, like everybody was in it to win. A couple kids just could not do it. Because again, they showed off day one. So if you did like 12 pull-ups at that age, it was great. They got to 11. They still did more than most of the class, but they got whipped. But this one kid, Kevin Schwartz, all right, he was the heavy kid in the class. You know, he's always that dude. And he could not do a single pull-up on the first day.
That was me.
Of class, all right?
I could not do a pull-up till I was about 15 years old. I could do push-ups. I could do sit-ups all day long. I could not. Well, this kid had enough strength to get myself up.
Pull-ups are tough. But on the last day of class, it's like, hey, man, and he was the last kid to go, all right? So, like I said, half the class is bleeding out of the legs. The other half of us are like, thank God. So Kevin Schwartz goes up there, man. He goes to the pull-up. In my mind, it took 45 minutes. All right? But this dude's and all you wanted to do was avoid getting whipped. And Mr. Gallup's over there. He reminded me of the guy that works downstairs. Hey, brother.
Yeah.
He was kind of like that, all right? And he just had that, swear to God, same kind of smile. And he's spinning this robe watching Kevin, and we knew he was the last guy. This whole class is cheering for him like, hey, come on, man, you can do it. Dude's chin barely touched the bar, counted as one. He didn't get whipped. And, I mean, all of us are celebrating.
Yeah.
We'd have picked him up if we could have.
It's weird. Gym teachers are one of the few people professionally that still wear a whistle. Mm-hmm. Like cops don't have a whistle. Even maybe a traffic cop in the city has a whistle. But other than that, I mean, like, always had a whistle around their neck. You like they were coaching. You know what I mean? It was just, that was the thing. Like, if you're a coach, you had a whistle.
By the way, someone here says, can we get a Facebook video of Miles jumping rope while throw juggles? Honest to God, it was on our OnlyFans, but we got shut down.
Because I do it naked.
Yeah, Miles didn't have pants on.
Right. And someone else says, wait, Ted had an unassisted triple play. Miles has a hole-in-one. Thrill,
I have two hole-in-ones.
Thrill, tell me you dunked on Jordan in the 8th grade or something like that. Yeah, I did.
Dunked
on Jordan. Yeah. I can't find a picture of me doing it.
Mm-hmm. And mine was in T-ball.
Yeah,
nobody knows.
You bring it up.
Right, I mean, I can bring it up, but don't be too impressed. Like again, those were children that didn't know the rules.
You got to remember, in T-ball, you have no less than 16 infielders. There's not 9 people out there.
Everyone's on the team.
Every single person on that team is out there. The ball never leaves the infield, so the outfield and the infield are almost the same thing.
Yeah, it's chase the ball.
Yeah, it is. It's like,
but very important in T-ball. You must first watch the ball roll by you. Then turn around and chase after it.
And then throw the ball errantly just somewhere to somebody who's not looking and crack them on the side of the head.
Just throw it anywhere.
But I say this all the time. That's the issue for baseball with little kids, right? Little kids go play soccer. It's constant. They're doing something. T-ball, baseball, they're bored. And if they don't pay attention, eventually they're going to get hit by a ball.
Well, not only that,
that's going to ruin the sport.
But they're sitting down, they're drawing finger stuff in the sand and the dirt. You know what I mean? Like
they're keeping score.
Yeah, yes, because I had a reason to keep score. I knew what was up there. Because I knew that was crap. You know what I mean? I knew enough about sports to know that baseball doesn't end in a tie. I knew that much because I'd watch baseball, and I'm like, they never end in a tie. They keep on playing until someone wins. You know what I mean? Like, I knew that.
Baseball does. You play T-ball, homie.
Yeah, exactly. Reason we asked, what is your most useless talent? An Idaho man walked more than 2 miles while balancing a baseball bat on his chin. And yes, that is a new Guinness World Record.
I like your chin.
David Rush, who has broken more than 200 Guinness records to promote STEM education, took on the record at the local track there in Boise. He balanced the bat on his chin and walked around the track for about 41 minutes, 30 seconds, achieving the total distance of 2.236 miles. That was enough to beat the goal of 1.86 miles. Rush said he managed to navigate the track by having his wife, Jennifer, shout out instructions when he wandered out of his lane.
That's exactly what I want my wife to do. Hey, babe, you know, like you like to yell at me at home. Can you distract me while I'm on the track,
This is the only thing I want to do. Can you help me? More of the random question coming up, 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
99.9 KISW. The men's room is in progress.
More Men's Room coming up with the Men's Room Happy Hour Monday through Friday at 6. We head off of these airwaves and head over into the Odyssey app. Download the app now. You can do that in the Google Play and the App Store absolutely free. Then favorite the Happy Hour in your app. More Men's Room coming up at 6 with a return of the word. We will discuss the origins of we'll call it the rooster word here on these airwaves. We'll change that later. And Would You Rather, all coming up. Yep. Episode number 24 of the Men's Room Happy Hour. All right, today it is our random question. Question 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jack. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. Jack, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, let's go with this. What got on you? What did you get on you? For an example, just this past Friday, our own Steve the Thrill Hill, we come in from a smoke break. Mm-hmm. What does he do? He sticks his hand under the sanitation device, and that awful Bigfoot urine spread all over his hands.
I cannot explain how bad it is. We have normal-smelling hand sanitizer up here. Miles and I try to warn each other not to use it. It gets kind of habitual. I put my hand under it, and this was my reaction. I did not mean to do this. Keep in mind, this is a very tall ceiling, tiled lobby. F-bomb, F-bomb, F-bomb.
Mm-hmm. And you can smell it 4 feet away, and I didn't even put it on me. I was like, oh, God.
I just shook it off my hand and wiped it on the carpet.
Oh, God.
I don't want it on me, man. That stuff smells ridiculous.
You were on fire Friday.
How long did
what else did I do Friday? Dude,
damn.
As soon as I got up here, I'd wash my hands and put on different hand sanitizer because you can't get the stink of this off of you, man.
I don't even know what
but you commented when you came into the bathroom you thought it was me in there.
Oh, yeah. So I walk into the bathroom.
You're like, what happened? Damn.
And Ted is walking to the sink to wash his hands after using the bathroom. And as I walk in, at the top of my lungs, I'm like, damn. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go take a leak. Then I hear the stall door open and realize it is not Ted who's done this. It is our boss. So he walks by me. He's like, you okay, man? I'm like, oh, yeah, I just got hand sanitizer in my hand. It stinks.
Sure. So what got on you?
Okay, well, last Friday, not the most recent one, but the one before that, I was out drinking with my buddies. And I had, a couple too many to drink. I actually ended up losing my card as well, and someone decided to take it on a joyride, which was no fun. But we were about 30 seconds away from home, and I was telling my buddy that I needed to get out of the car. I needed to go to the ditch, empty my stomach a bit. And I was wearing a nice white shirt, and the next morning, I realized that I had some manure on my shirt. A nice white shirt. It was a massive spot, about a foot wide.
How did you get that on your shirt?
Huh?
How did you get it on you?
I was laying in the curb.
Aha. And you happened to lay on top of manure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's terrible.
Did you say you were laying in the curb?
You had a puke.
It was more of a ditch.
All right.
Okay. Yeah,
when I think curb, I don't think manure. I think poop, dog poop, human poop.
Yeah, I'm thinking dog poop, too.
Oh, so not manure, but dog. But manure, I can deal with.
I'm thinking cow.
Because there's once you call it manure, it serves a purpose. When it's just poop, it's poop. You know what I mean? Once they call it manure, I'm like,
you don't put your dog poop in your compostables.
Right.
Or in your garden. But you might manure.
Because, think about it like this. If you walk through any major city, go through its streets, they have cops on horses. Mm-hmm. And the horses just poop in the middle of the goddamn street. That is poop. That is not manure. It's just a massive pile of S.
I mean, what is the defining line between manure and poop?
Don't you have to treat the poop to make it manure, or am I just imagining that? Because when I see a pile of horse ass left by the cops' horses,
I think that's manure.
I do not. I'm like, that's a big pile of S with a lot of hay in it. But then when you see it in the field and it has the darker color, you know what I mean? And look, when it's still S, you can still identify what the animal is eating. I feel like when I see manure, it's just that dark brown. I know it's a pile of S, but is there any difference there, Mike?
Mike, you're from Enumclaw. What is the ruling on this?
Yeah, Mike. It says as verbs, the difference between manure and poop is that the manure is to cultivate by manual labor, to till, hence to develop by culture, while poop is to break seawater with the poop of a vessel, especially the poop tank. Okay, it's honestly, it doesn't sound like there's much difference. I believe manure is just used in farming.
But you would never take your own poop and till your garden with it.
But if you did, does it become manure? If I'm like, look, poop in my wheelbarrow and I'm going to put it in my corn crop.
I would think so. I mean, if you watch The Martian, yeah.
Well, he had extenuating circumstances.
Exactly.
But
use what you got.
I'm with Thrill. If you say manure, I'm just thinking farm. Not like I fell in the ditch.
And I also feel, for some reason,
poop.
I think it's beneficial. Like it would be good to till your soil with it. Or poop, I don't believe that. If you get, if you run your lawnmower over a pile of dog crap and it sprays all over you, you're like, oh, look, manure.
Well, I don't know. Think about it, man. Like every time there's a sign that says don't let your dogs poop here, obviously they do, but the grass grows very well around that sign.
Typically, except for the fact that when they pee, it burns.
When they pee, it burns, it's sure. But poop, that's good eating.
I think the worst thing I got on me lately was when I had to scoop vomit out of the door of my car because someone threw up in my car and I couldn't get in there because it was down low and I had to actually physically reach in with my hand.
And it's someone else's.
And throw the vomit out onto the street.
I spit beer on you the other day as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That
was good. That was fun.
Mike made me laugh. I did not expect it.
Reason we asked what got on you, man, this is a story. A mom and her son are suing the University of Tennessee Medical Center and two contractors after they say, quote, a downpour of human waste fell on them while he was in intensive care. Patricia Gibson and Joel Patterson are seeking in a jury trial in Knox County Circuit Court compensatory damages of no more than $1 million and punitive damages of no more than $1 million. This was bad, according to the attorney. The sheer volume of wastewater that fell on the pair amounted to hundreds of gallons. Nurses who went in to help Patterson, who was on a ventilator and intubated, also got fecal matter on them as they tried to shield Patterson. The incident happened in May of 2020. Gibson, however, had begun smelling a foul odor in the room several days beforehand. Well, the nurses, they could not find the source of the smell. They said it appears a leak had slowly developed where two pipes join in the ceiling above the room. There had previously been some remodeling and renovation work in the area, according to attorneys. It appears a sealing point linking the pipes failed on May the 4th. Hundreds of gallons of wastewater fell on the son, the mother, and the nurses who came in to help. People were covered head to toe, according to the attorney. Since Mr. Patterson was on a respirator and intubated, he was not able to avoid the downpour of human waste. She tried to shield her son from the fallout. Nurses also tried to protect him. The plaintiffs alleged negligence on the University of Tennessee's Medical Center's behalf. Reached for comment, a hospital spokesman said, we don't comment on stuff like that. Yeah. The contractors did work including plumbing of a drain waste vent line above or in around the room where the alleged damages occurred. If the hospital is found liable in the incident because of what the contractors did, then the hospital agrees it should get money from them to cover the judgment. So they're going to go after the contractors.
Of course.
If they settle suit with the hospital. But either way, hundreds of gallons. By the way, the man was admitted to the hospital for complications of chronic illness. The attorney declined to be more specific. Either way, it was only Patterson's room that was affected by the wastewater dump. But again, 200 gallons of wastewater were falling from the sky.
You're on a ventilator in the ICU, so things are already not awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then 200 gallons of poop lands on top. Hey, I give his mom, and more importantly, I give those nurses credit. The fact that they ran in to shield him. I mean, if I'm a nurse, I'm like, well, it sucks to be him. I will clean him up after the fact, but I'm not I don't want poop on me.
No. Hell,
what do you got, Mike?
Got a little bit more information on manure here versus poop. It does say that manure is organic matter that is used as organic fertilizer in agriculture. So we were dancing all about it. It is just the fertilizer, though. So it says most manure does consist of animal feces.
Of course.
Other sources include compost and green manure, which is basically just roots and other plants that you want to get out. And it's kind of all mixed into a good fertilizer there. So when Biff ran into that truck full of manure, there was likely some feces that was in there. However, it's more the mixture used for agriculture.
Okay, and somebody here, a lot of people commented, they said, look, your average animal and or human waste is toxic and will actually kill the plants based on our diets.
Oh, okay.
Right? But there are places...
That's comforting.
But there are places that, believe it or not, will take your human poop and then they will turn it into a fertilizer you can use later.
Oh, maybe we should save it then.
Yeah, save all your
yeah, just
poop.
for the month. You know what I mean?
How much... I'm just thinking, like, that's a great idea, and I get it, but there's no way, like, they do a pickup from your house. Like, how much poop do you produce that you can fertilize your garden?
Well, what you do is you get a 5-gallon bucket, and then you find out how much that weighs. Say it weighs a half pound or a pound or whatever, right? And then you just start filling the damn thing up, and you weigh it at the end of the month.
Or I can have my daughter poop once. Just
right.
One time.
Yep.
I think part of it, too, is, like, some of it would be hard to collect some days.
Like, for me, today, you could not collect this.
No. You just, all you do is you get one of those pull things, and you wrap it around, and you put it right there on the top of the 5-gallon bucket, and you only go in the 5-gallon bucket.
Now, we're saying the consistency.
The pool noodle. I know.
You could water your lawn with what I was doing earlier today.
Yeah.
But it was bad, man. Mm-hmm. It's like somebody broke a water balloon in my butt.
Then you put the lid on, and you come back.
Hello, David. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, David.
David.
Hola.
Hello.
Hola. David, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, let's go with this one. David, what would you say is the craziest thing that you've seen while driving or in a vehicle? Passenger, driver, either way. What's the strangest thing you've seen out on the roadways?
Going up the New Jersey Turnpike, a woman in nothing but fishnets who had her top down on her T-Bird.
All right. Jersey way.
This does sound very Jersey. Fishnets and a T-bird.
Yeah, right. Those two things make it Jersey.
That is par for the course. And did she have nothing else on?
Nothing else on while boots. No, you could barely see the top of her boots. She had on probably about knee-high boots.
That's a good look.
Was she attractive?
For New Jersey.
All right. Well, I'm assuming big hair, the typical New Jersey look.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So, other thing, real quick, if you guys don't mind, on the "What Got On You" comment.
Yes.
Were you guys in Baltimore the year they had the All-Star game at the Camden Yards?
I think so, because it was early on after the stadium opened.
That was like the early 90s.
Yeah.
Do you remember the horrible smell that floated up past that came up out of as they were re-landscaping out the backside of the lot and came up the whole way through most of the middle of Baltimore?
I mean, that's a weekly occurrence. I don't remember it exactly.
So what, you said like they hit something when they were building the stadium?
Nope. We were actually re-landscaping Camden Yards for the All-Star game, and we had what they refer to as municipal waste, which is basically the gray water mixed with mulch to fertilize everything.
Jesus, man.
And that ruptured.
It was bad. We actually had to chase some homeless out of it occasionally, and it was not a fun time.
Well, you realize, man, if you get in just the inner harbor itself, like if you were to accidentally fall, there's no rails,
right?
It's just a walkway. Oh, yeah. But if you were to fall in there, like they come in hazmat suits. It looks like they're coming to get ET.
Yeah, for real. I mean, they tell you, even the paddle boat. My kids wanted to do the paddle boats. They were there a couple of weeks ago, and it looks lovely. Like, can we do the paddle boats? I'm like, no. And they think I'm being mean. And I said, listen, man, you don't understand. That looks like water, but by most people's definition of water, that is not water. That is a liquid full of heavy metals to the point when you get on these boats, they say like, because little kids can't help but stick their hands in the water. And I get the want to do that. But if you do that, they're like, take your kid to the hospital right now. So the thing with paddle boats, they always kind of splash. I'm like, nah, we're not doing it, man.
No.
No,
you can't believe you eat food out of that. You can't believe you eat crabs out of that.
Right. But you pull a crab out of there, we're like, cook it up.
Yeah,
cook that bad boy.
I mean, look, my cousin lives in Pasadena, and there's certain days they can't touch the water.
No, I couldn't. I used to live on the Agathie River down there, and it was just absolutely... Some days you look at it and go like, what is in the river today?
The other crazy one, too, was when we were in Knoxville, right? Knoxville is right on the Tennessee River.
Yeah.
So it's famous because you can tailgate by boat here.
Much like you can't hear at UW.
Right. So those are like the two famous spots you can tailgate by boat. Husky Stadium or whatever the hell they call that one down there, Neyland Stadium. So my buddy jumped in the water. So now it's after the game. were sitting at the bar, and when he came out, he like scraped his arm, and like the girl's like, you got that from jumping in the river? And he's like, yeah. And she goes, you should get that checked out. And we all start laughing. She's like, I'm not kidding.
Damn. Was he okay?
He's still alive.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay is relative.
All right. Reason we asked, what crazy thing did you see while driving? You might think that you had a busy weekend. It's not going to hold a candle, though, to what Bold and Bossy went through.
What?
Bold and Bossy is a racehorse.
Oh, okay. All
okay.
Right.
And on Saturday, she was supposed to race at Ellis Park in Henderson, Kentucky. But then she felt a little bold and bossy. This actually went down, okay? As they were trying to get this horse into the gate for a race, she bucked off her jockey and took off. She then jumped over a fence and escaped the track and started running down the highway alongside of cars. Thankfully, she was not hit despite running for 30 minutes at full speed.
Damn.
This horse took the hell off down multiple interstate highways. I mean, you got to remember, this thing's still got its number on it.
Oh, yeah.
This still thing's got the blinders on. You know what I mean? Like, it's fully ready to race. I mean, it's going down the interstate. Well, she eventually got exhausted and slowed down, and she was taken in by a veterinarian who was in pursuit, along with trainers, an animal ambulance, and local police. You got to remember, there is a convoy of emergency vehicles trying to track this horse down and following it down the interstate. Eventually, she was sedated and taken to a barn to relax and rest. So thank goodness they were able to get this horse out of harm's way. Except that in the middle of the night, a fire started in her barn.
Oh, jeez.
And it wasn't long before the whole place was engulfed in flames. Bold and Bossy was rescued by some, quote, unknown hero, along with other horses in the barn by a few trainers. She did suffer burns to her neck and shoulder. Sounds like she's going to be okay. It's unclear what this means for her racing future, but after all that trauma for the weekend, maybe she just wants to lead a quiet life after taking off. They say this thing was full speed. Like she was getting ready to race.
30 minutes.
30 minutes down interstates. Like multiple interstates.
I'd take that horse for cocaine.
That is amazing.
Yeah, no kidding.
30 minutes.
Horse sounds a little jacked up.
Yeah. Hey. Hello, Troy. Welcome to the bedroom.
Hola.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
Troy, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, let's stick with animals here. All right, Troy, what did you lose? What have you lost in your lifetime that you're just like, man, I cannot believe I cannot find that thing?
Okay, I thought it was what got on you.
Well, that was one of the random questions.
Okay, one of the randoms what got on you was my wife.
Oh.
At the time, she was like looking at me, and I was about ready to go in the shower, and she's like looking at my back, and I ain't a hairy guy, but she's like, we need to take care of that. And so she breaks out this Avon hair removal stuff, and it's supposed to be green, but it was clear.
Oh, gee, come on.
Here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
Yeah. I knew that was going to happen when he didn't answer the question.
Yeah, just started telling his own story.
Reason we asked, what did you lose? The Pennsylvania Game Commission said a wallaby seen hopping on the loose on multiple occasions has been safely captured, but its origins remain a mystery.
That's fair.
The commission said game wardens responded to a call from residents Wednesday that a kangaroo had been spotted near the Bethel Township field. They tried to approach it, but they couldn't get very close, so they used an animal immobilization equipment, so they say. They were able to secure it, put it in a transport device, and they took it into a wildlife facility where it has recovered from being whatever they did to it. Officials plan to keep the male wallaby at the facility while they investigate its origins. Pennsylvania requires facilities housing exotic animals to be licensed by the Game Commission, and facilities found to be illegally keeping such animals, they are subject to some pretty heavy-duty fines. So they don't really believe that anyone's going to step up.
No one's going to come forward and collect the
apparently
wallaby.
These things are supposed to be tagged and everything else. So you already know, like chip, tag, whatever.
Yeah, it's a wallaby.
Animal. Officials said no wallabies have ever been reported missing in the area. Game Commission officials earlier said the wallaby might have been an illegal pet and either escaped or was abandoned by its owner. Residents in the Mount Zion area of Lebanon County, they captured many photos and videos on numerous occasions throughout the last 2 weeks of a kangaroo bouncing around their neighborhoods.
I couldn't let my wallaby go. If I got a wallaby, I'm keeping my wallaby.
Coming up, your guess is as good as mine. The categories will be your favorite seafoods and the cities that cost the most to buy a home. That's coming up after emails. The men's room at KISW.com next.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.